Hello everyone, this is Hachuri, and this is going to be a very short tutorial on starting Botania. Now, what you need to do to start Botania is one of the first things you gotta get done is you have to actually find mana. Now this mana is the wizardry mana, but this is basically what you're going to do to start, and you're going to be looking for these kind of puddles in the overworld. They sort of look like water, except they're a little more bluer, kind of like this light blue, and when you stand in them you get like a potion levitation effect, and you'll see particles if you drop an item in it. Once you get that, you're going to want to make the Pure Daisy. Now the Pure Daisy is actually a very simple craft. It is just the healing salve and the oxide daisy. You can find oxide daisies pretty much in any plains biome, or even forest biomes. You could also bone meal grass to get them. Let me see if there's any over here. Yeah, here's one right here. So that's a Pure Daisy, okay? Or not Pure Daisy, but an Oxidaisy. And that's how you make the Pure Daisy, is with that. Now, just real quick while we're going over this, I am in creative during this just so I don't have robot spiders jumping me every 5 minutes. So you'll get a mystical white petal for that, and you're going to want to save those mystical white petals, and we'll get into that here in a few because I'm going to show you how to duplicate those. Afterwards, you need to make concrete, and making concrete, you're going to have to get into LV to be able to do this part of it. But making concrete isn't that difficult. It's just water, stone, and clay dust. Gets you a good amount of concrete. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this concrete, you're going to put it in a fluid solidifier, and like basically, you know, this amount of it, which I believe is 2 runs, maybe a little more than 2 runs, gets you 9 concrete. Okay, that concrete, you're going to put it around the Pure Daisy to get you a living rock. Okay, and that's basically how you get living rock, which is one of the first parts that you're going to need to do. Okay, the second thing is if you put a gold nugget, you'll get nacre. You need nacre blocks to get a few other things, but some of this other stuff, nacre blocks is mostly going to be used for making your arcane stone and things of that nature and blood magic. I haven't really used nacre blocks for anything else. But that's basically the short thing on this. Light concrete equals living rock. Okay? And with the living rock, you will be able to make your actual mana pool later. But we'll be using that for other things later as well. We'll get into that here in a little bit. So living wood, you need to basically take vibrant infused wood and throw it on the Pure Daisy. Now to make vibrant infused wood is infused wood, put in an autoclave with starlight. Now if you take a look, this recipe is MV, so you won't be progressing to this part until you're at least in the MV stage. Okay, but making the infused wood isn't difficult. You basically just drop logs in starlight, and that's all it is. You just drop a log into the starlight, and we'll go over some of this stuff. We'll actually set up some examples. No longer need to be in creative since I'm on base. Alright, so the first thing we're going to go over is what do you do after it's like, okay, I've made my Pure Daisy. I can make concrete if I need to, but you know, I just want to get started into the absolute basics. So the Pure Daisy is needed to progress down the parts for later Botania, such as Living Wood, Elven Gateway, etc. Okay, it's also I don't think its knacker blocks are used in it at all, to be honest. It's only used for Thaumcraft, Viz crystals, living rock, making your tinker tool stuff, and living rock, living wood, Viz crystals, tinker stuff. That's really the only thing I've ever seen the Pure Daisy used for. Okay, the branch you're going to want to go down is this way, which is making the wisdom stick. Now the wisdom stick is just tossing a stick into mana. Doesn't matter, any type of stick. And you're going to use that to make a Wand of the Force. And that's where the white mystical petal came in. But see, the thing is you don't want to use that white mystical petal on that. You want to do some stuff with it first. And what you want to do with it is you want to take that petal. You want to take some bone meal. And you want to take some shears. And what you're going to do with this is you're actually going to plant that petal. I have misplaced. There we go. You're actually going to just plant that petal. And we're just going to take a quick shortcut over here. And we're just going to plant this on this block here. Now, when you plant it on there, there'll be sparkles. And when you right-click it with bone meal, you get a tall flower. Now, you don't want to break it with anything other than shears. And when you do that, you get 4 more petals. So basically, you can duplicate the petals by growing it. Okay? And this works with any Botania flower. Now, outside of the first one that you get as a reward for doing the Pure Daisy, the rest of the flowers you're going to have to craft. And how you get those is, you see there's nothing here. You can click on them, but they don't give you anything. Well, that's because you're actually crafting the petals. And each of these takes a little bit of mana and some random plants plant, like in this case it's Cambridge Blue, and a low covalence dust. And that will give you the petal, and then you can duplicate it from there. Now, how you get these flowers is you can either find them in the wild. Some of them actually go out there, but that kind of takes a while. And what you really want to do with that, let me see if I have any on me. It doesn't look like I do, so we're going to make one. What you really want to do with that is you want to make a coagulated plant ball. So we're going to take that, go to our water one over here. And the coagulated plant ball is like any flower, sapling, etc. I did grab the hammer, right? It's basically any sapling, flower, etc. 4 of them in the grid, and I'm pretty sure it's shapeless. Let's find out. Yeah, it's shapeless. So just 4 of them in here, a little bit of water, and you get some coagulated plant balls. Okay, and those coagulated plant balls, if you plant it on grass of some sort, you will get the plant's flowers. So like, say I come over here. Now I already have some of these Cambridge Blues, but say I need something else. Well, I can right click it, and it doesn't always do it. but generally does. That's twice in a row. He didn't give it to me. All right, we're gonna check this out. They might have changed this on me. Let me see here. We're gonna go and actually make a bunch of these real fast. And wrong one. Of course, all right. I'm gonna laugh if they change this on me. That would be my luck. But basically, you would use coagulated plant balls to get this. I lost my hammer, but that's okay. That's okay. All that matters is we got the balls. So let's go back over here, and we're gonna mow the lawn real quick, just to really ensure we get what we're wanting. All right. So we got a whole bunch of stuff we don't want. Let's get rid of all this. All right. Now there it goes. There it goes. Now as you see, we got orange milkweed, and if we take a look, orange milkweed. If you take a look at how that's used, that creates the orange mystical flower. So that's how you get those and how you go about making the flowers, the flower petals. So let's put this away. Now, once you have the petals, you can do all sorts of different things. You could look into crafting this, assuming you have the Thaumcraft altar going. If not, it's fine. You don't need it right away. You can just do it that way and duplicate the flowers from there. This is not a necessary thing. Okay? So, once you've duplicated your flowers, you need to get some crystallized mineral chunks. You can get this just by chopping down a mineral tree. You will get at least one of these usually. And you make your wand. Okay? The second thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make this diluted pool. And it's basically astral sorcery marble slabs. Not hard. Okay? Not an issue to get. The other thing is you're going to need a mana spreader. And it's infused wood, wisdom planks from the wisdom trees, a glass lens from astral sorcery, and you have to make it in astral sorcery. So you have to at least progress astral sorcery to, at minimal, the Starlight crafting altar to do this. And then the other thing is you need a source of mana. Okay. Now, to get mana, you have a couple options in the beginning for this. And really, your only true options for this are the Dandelion and one other one. I think Gore Morales is pretty far in. Yes, it is. Looks like Narslimus was the other one, which generates by eating slimes and slime chunks. Not really a good one. That one is a bit far. Rafflesia. This is another one that might be okay. But I don't know how the Rafflesia works. Because where I always end up going is Dandelion. Now, Dandelion, it's a couple of the magentas, a yellow, a handful of cellular blocks, some Phytogrow, and mana. Now, Phytogrow, it this looks intimidating to make, but then if you go to the next page, you realize it's just apatite dust and a coagulated plant ball to make a phytogro. Apatite is major abundant in the overworld. You will find it. And in fact, there's even a quest for it in the overworld. It is right here. So African lily is apatite. And it pretty much spawns in all biomes for the most part. Except for extreme hot and cold, but it's pretty much everywhere. So going back to Botania, you make your diluted pool, you make your Dandelion, and essentially you don't necessarily need to have the full automated setup like this is, but if you just built this setup with a Dandelion and manually placed it, all you would need to start it is like a piston or even just a lever right here. If you placed a lever right at this spot, you'll be fine. Because if any blocks cross this circle here, it's going to consume them anyway. So you're fine placing a lever to turn the Dandelion on and off right here. But you would place your blocks, and it would generate around 36,000 mana, which is overflowing for the diluted, but just a portion of the normal. Now, once you have that diluted pool made, one of the first things you're going to need to get made from there is you're going to need to get some mana dust made, and you're going to need to get some mana diamonds made. Now, mana dust, you can craft it this way. This is for automation in the future. It's not really a normal way of getting it. How you normally get it is you just make some phytogro, like the same way I showed you how the coagulated plant balls, and you toss it in the pool, and that will give you some mana powder. Okay. It's a little time consuming for the first few bits of it, but it's not too bad. This is the one that's going to actually take you a while. Now, once you get to unstable mana, you can just toss mana diamonds in, or diamonds in here and get a mana diamond. But early on, you're going to be needing a flawless diamond. Now, there's a handful of ways of getting this. One of the ways is looking for a gem refiner schematic and just using mana at the gem refiner to make the flawless diamond. Okay. The other way is building a sifter. And this is by far the easiest way, because you basically get your diamond ore, you build a macerator, an ore washer, and that's pretty much it. And then once it's purified ore, you throw it into the sifter, and you can get any of these drops. And, you know, you get flawless diamonds fairly common. This would be an easier way of doing it, though, because you're more likely going to get normal diamonds than the flawless. And this is just a way to kind of deal with that. And this multi-block does more than just that. It can turn any gem into the flawless gems. So this is just a way of dealing with that. And that's basically the very early steps in Botania. Everything else after that is normal Botania. Getting the mana pearls, you need unstable mana. This is the only way to get mana pearls. Okay. Getting the mana glass, again, you need an assembler and unstable mana. It's the only way to get it. No other ways around that. And as far as the beginning parts, though, all the stuff you'll be doing in the early game is just going to be this section right here. making these whole parts right here. Everything else is going to be pretty much late game. And the rest of this we can go over in more detail at a later time. But as far as getting started goes, that's it. Trying to think if there's anything else that needs to be covered for the beginning parts. I think that's really it. Because, like the light gray rock wool, you'll use this in a few things. It's gravel, sand, wool, water. And if you take a look, it's used for making enchanted fabric. It's used in... it was used in other things. Let me see here. I think it might have been white rock wool that was also used. Yeah, it's used for the spacesuit and a few other items. So, rock wool is something you'll be using a decent amount of. Monocloth is just for Botania armor if you want to use that particular stuff. It's also used for plumes and cloth to make your very own Twilight cloak. Trying to think of what else to get into for this. I guess we can go over the Runic Altar as well. Runic Altar and Elven Gateway, they're both explained in the book, but these are both things that I guess take a little work. So let's go ahead real quick and go over the Runic Altar, because this is something that you'll be using often. As far as sparks go, essentially you can do some complex stuff with sparks, but really what I do is I just place some sparks with recessive augment. My mana battery is almost always normal sparks, and anything that uses mana will have a dominant augment on it. I don't do anything very complex with it. It's a very, very simple construct for that. But let's quickly just go over the Runic Altar. Now, how the Runic Altar works is you take the runic recipes. In this case, I need to make a water rune just for quest completion. So we're going to go for this. So we need bone meal, we need sugar cane, and we need a fishing rod. Already had stuff for a fishing rod there. Herp-a-derp. And we're going to put all those on the altar. And that will give us the rune after a wee bit of magic. Do I have bone meal on me still? No. So I need one bone meal. I need one mana powder, one of those. What else do I need for this? That's it. Alright, I'm also going to need a living rock. And that's going to be used for the rune itself. And then we're going to want our Botania wand for this. Okay. So, how the Runic Altar works is first you have to have a mana source. So in this case, I have a mana spreader pointing to it from this mana pool here, okay? And you right-click the items onto the altar. And once it has a valid recipe, you'll hear the lightning sound, and it will start sending mana to this. Now, once you see this effect with the lightning everywhere, you'll see it has a checkbox and it says it's ready. And it'll have a kind of a weird icon with the living rock and the wand. So what you do is you throw the living rock on it and you right click it with the wand. And that gets you your rune. Okay? And if you had more of the materials, you can right click it with an empty hand do the same one again. I don't. We just did the one. But that's how you would end up continuously doing that. And the runic altar, I mean, you use it for many things in this pack. The water rune is just one of many runes that exist within this pack, and they have alternate variations for everything. But the other thing is you can make Minecraft heads, and the name tag will give you the head of whatever player you want it. You can make blood magic runes in this, and that's actually something you will be making a lot of. And finally, you can make the dislocator, which is a big thing. The dislocator is a very useful item, and it's also used in a lot of crafting. It's used for making the advanced dislocator, as you can see here. It's also used for making the lattice chicken, which is something we're going to be doing on one of our episodes here soon. So I think that about covers it. How this works is that about covers that. So how this works is you build your construct here, okay? And this construct is actually explained in the Botania book, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I will go ahead and show you the parts. So this is glimmering wood. It's made in the starlight altar for this pack, and it just requires illumination powder, emerald nuggets, and living wood to make the glimmering living wood. This construct requires 3 of them. It also requires living wood, and it requires the Elven Gateway core. And the Gateway core, power catalysts, mana pearl, living wood, and unstable mana. So you do have to progress blood magic to a point to be able to make this. And we'll cover the blood magic alchemy later. The other thing is you need 2 mana pools on either side here, and with Natura pylons on top of it. And the Natura pylon is done through Thaumcraft and Fusion Crafting. It's living wood, the mana diamond, an Eye of Ender, 2 emeralds, and a mana pylon. Mana pylon is mana steel plates, rose gold screws, and the Orium gem. Okay, the Orium gem is made through Astral Sorcery, and unfortunately it's a wee bit RNG-ish, but we'll cover that when we do the quick tutorial on Astral Sorcery. So how this works is you have this construct set up and you right click this block with your wand and it turns on. Okay, now this only uses mana when you toss stuff in it, and what you do is, say you need some Elementium. What you're going to do is you're going to take some mana steel and just toss it in the portal, and you get Elementium back. And the story behind this is supposedly there's elves on the other side of this portal, and whenever you toss materials to them, they will toss you an alternate variant of those materials. But yeah, so you can't go through the portal, but you can trade people for stuff. And the elven trading, you can get all sorts of materials for it. Let's see if it shows here. You get Dreamwood, Elementium, Pixie Dust, Dragonstone, Elven Quartz, Alf Glass, and apparently a dire crafting table. I don't see anything that actually requires any of these. Thank God. I don't know why you would want a dire crafting table, but yeah, that's how you get a dire crafting table. Yeah, well, you can make this one. Yeah, I don't know what you would use the dire crafting table for. I don't think there's any recipes for it. But there you go. There it is. And that's pretty much the gist of that. The only other thing you can do at Botania is the Gaia fight. I'm not to the point of that. That's going to be advanced Botania, so we'll cover that probably in a video. But as far as the basics and getting started at Botania, that should cover it. So if you guys have any questions, post in the comments. If you want me to take a minute and actually show anything in great detail, like for automation, I can try to do that. I was actually going to try to show how to automate the this Pure Daisy, but a lot of the blocks I was using for that were breaking the blocks and not giving the item. They were just outright destroying it. I had to use a mechanical user and a atomic disassembler to even be able to mine Thaumcraft crystals. It was kind of nuts, to be honest. But I'll cover Botania automation, I think, another day. But with that, have a wonderful day, and I hope this answers some of your questions. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.